We got another cheap smartphone today. This time, it's by Samsung, the Samsung Galaxy A03s. That's available for just shy of $40 right now at Walmart. Now, I know this is Straight Talk Wireless, so it's locked to Straight Talk right now, but we can still use the phone like it would be an iPod or something along those lines. So it says it has 32 gigabytes of storage. That's pretty low. I hope they at least have a micro SD card slot. There's a 6.5-inch HD Plus LCD display, and then battery talk time up to 40 hours. That's pretty long. A triple camera. Wow. 13 plus 2 plus 2 megapixel and the 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Not much else on the back, except it mentions there is expandable storage on here. That's nice. And then an octa-core processor clocked at 2.3 gigahertz plus 1.8 gigahertz. All right, so in the box itself, we have the smartphone. Kind of looks nice. 6.5-inch screen. Inside here, we got a start guide, about phone, again another quick start guide, I don't know why they put it in there, as well as a USB-C to USB-C cable. That's interesting, that's the first I've seen, as well as a SIM pin. The specific model number is here, SM-S135DL. And there's something about this phone that feels like just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I mean, I can feel the plastic now at the back. Otherwise, it was feeling kind of premium almost. It had kind of a sleek design. It's not too thick. And on the right side, we have the volume keys, power button. It almost looks like a fingerprint scanner. I'll have to confirm that. On the bottom, surprisingly, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is great, a USB-C port, and speaker grill. And on the left side, not much except to get to the microSD card tray, as well as microSD card, or SIM slot, I should say. Just like so, and yes, it does come with a SIM. Then at the top, we don't have much else except this might be a microphone. There's a speaker grill on top, as well as a notch for the front-facing camera. Then there's a rear-facing camera too. It's slightly protruding with the flash. So the camera on here doesn't seem too bad. It doesn't have a quick shutter, but it does come out nicely. Everything on here I can read. It's legible. I have no problems whatsoever reading everything. Wow, yeah, that's really nice. Probably one of the better cameras. And the front camera is pretty decent. I'm not really seeing that like over sharpness that I see in some other ones. It's enough for a Skype call and then some. Yeah, take that how you will. Just take a quick picture and see what happens. You gotta hold still for just a slight longer than expected. You can see, yep, it came out decently. The one thing I was really worried about is the Samsung apps and bloatware it comes with. But on here, it seems like it might be optional to download what you want to, and I'm going to skip that for now. Okay, it looks like there's still some bloatware out of the box, a decent amount from Samsung. Actually, not too bad. But the good thing is that these can be uninstalled. And for some reason, these were installed here right after turning on Wi-Fi or connecting to Wi-Fi. So that's not, I don't know why that is. But thankfully, they all can be uninstalled. And the other thing is that this fingerprint scanner works like 9 times out of 10. It's like pretty quick and fluid. There's also facial unlock if need be. Like, oh, it worked there that time too. So not bad. And I kind of like the screen here. It feels a little bit better than some other ones. Maybe it's just me. It might be a little more saturated. Just my guess though. And the screen itself does look nice, not too pixelated, being 1600 by 720. But I hope, and I'm hoping that we can watch videos in HD 720p on streaming platforms, which I'll have to confirm in just a moment. And wow, out of the box, there's only 15.1 gigabytes available. That's really bad. And the memory, there's not too much RAM left. Maybe if I close this, I mean, Google does take up a bit. But yeah, really not a good sign. But again, for 40 bucks, we can only expect so much. All right, now after uninstalling most of the bloatware, we got 2 more gigs, 2.1 gigs or 2. Freed up, and then you can get another like 400 megs freed up if you uninstall Block Blast and Squad Busters, but I'm keeping those there just to test out and see how well gaming is on here. Not expecting too much, and unfortunately some things are kind of stuck here. It's not too unfortunate, but yeah, Galaxy Store, the Samsung Gallery app, these things cannot be uninstalled along with these other 2 Samsung apps. So kind of unfortunate, just got to live with it. Maybe there's a few more we can uninstall here, but I'm just going to leave it as is. There's the opportunity to get a little more space as well as a microSD card for expansion. But personally, I think 64 gigs would have been nicer to have than 32. I feel like 32 is just a little too low. And look at that. There seems to be a software update, and that's 179.88 gigs, 180 gigs basically to do this. And by the way, this is running Android 13. And the 5 just feels more of a
so
modern
the videos
day
look decent on here. This is at 1080p on YouTube. And the speaker is all right here. It's on one side. It can be covered with one finger, so that's the only downside. So I'd say, like, just watch it this way so that the speaker is on top so you're not covering it when you're, like, using this phone or holding the phone.
Analoy has come out with an all-new multifunctional Bluetooth speaker that has a lot of different functions.
In the box, you have the user manual, the speaker itself, as well as a USB-C to USB-A cable. This is very simple to set up. Just turn on the power button here, and along with that, there's a USB-C port, a microSD card slot, USB-A port, and then as well as a reset button there.
On the front, you've got most of your buttons, from adjusting the volume, entering sleep mode, or even answering calls.
On the bottom is a clock and an alarm button to switch it to 24 hours or 12 hours, whichever one you want.
This is really simple to set up. All you do is go into Bluetooth, look for HM103F, and you should be connected. It's that easy.
And my favorite feature is, besides the speaker, is pressing on the top, it turns on the light, and it gets really bright at nighttime. This is really convenient. And not just that, there's also different RGB light colors to pick from. It's really cool and simple to set up.
All these extra features are great, don't get me wrong, but the most important thing when looking for a speaker is sound. And great news, the sound is amazingly loud. It doesn't sound tinny, the sound feels somewhat balanced, but also again, just insanely loud. Look at how far I am from the speaker. It's incredible. You can get all of this for just under $25 right now on Amazon. Check it out below.
And two other things I noticed is that I kind of like the screen to body ratio. I don't really talk about that much because it's like so common now. But yeah, I feel like it's like 85% screen to body ratio. That's just kind of a rough guess because the other ones have been around this budget price, and it's not bad. Now, the other thing is, real quick, is that speaking of the sides, this does feel a little premium. I feel like it's made of like aluminum on the side, but then when you touch the back, it's just made of plastic. Just texturized plastic. And the other good news is that this is running on Widevine L1, so videos are not going to be capped at 480p. You can actually watch videos in HD, or you should be able to on streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, etc. And then for performance, we have the CPU is a MT6765-CB clocked at 2.3 GHz, the octa-core processor, and then a PowerVR Rogue GE8320. In terms of performance itself, I feel like it's a tad slow. And by that, it's like I'm using the Opera Mini browser. It makes it more tolerable than Chrome. I feel like Chrome is just a bit more slow. It might be due to the RAM and possibly CPU itself. It's just like whenever I try to go around, things just don't feel as smooth. And I feel like it does take longer to load things on here than like other smartphones that I've seen around this price range. Now granted, I know if you're watching this for the first time on a prepaid smartphone or like a smartphone at this price range, you're probably thinking like, why are you complaining so much? Well, it's just because some phones tend to run a bit smoother. I'm not going to say this BlueView 5 runs exactly smoother, but I feel like it does perform maybe just almost the same, if not better, and it goes for $10 less. But anyways, the show must go on, and what better way to test out performance than checking out games. So the first game here is Roblox. So Roblox seems to be doing all right. I do notice hiccups and stutters here and there, especially when zoomed out, but zoomed in like this, it's not so bad. It seems just playable. So yeah, not bad. Dialing it back a bit, we're checking out Block Blast. It's a simple 2D game, and it seems to run just fine. I'm actually not noticing any delays whatsoever, so that's kind of a good sign. So it will handle low-end like 2D games and maybe some 3D games, just because it has that GE8320. And one thing I will say, just from comparing it to the BlueView 5, which is for $30, this one has a worse GPU. I do have a video on this that I made. I'll have like an annotation or card on the side that you can check out. at the end of this video, or it might be down below. Alright, finally checking out Squad Busters here, and it seems to be doing pretty decently. This is from the creators of Clash of Clans, in case if this guy looks a little familiar. It's like a baby little, like fighter. So yeah, it seems to run pretty well. I did notice it like stutter a bit, but nonetheless, it can handle games like low-end games like I mentioned earlier. And what this really has going for it is the fact that you can watch videos in HD 720p on this nice screen. I wish they had like just more of a dedicated like Android interface, because there's something that's kind of like holding this back. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I mean, besides the RAM, of course. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and stay tuned for more prepaid smartphone reviews or unboxings. And let me know what you guys think of this one too. As always, thanks for watching.